Hey, what's going on, everybody? In this video, we're going to be doing my July TBR, and the first half of the month is going to be dedicated to finishing up my owls and trying to get as many classes done as I can with that. I finished 7 so far, or 7 by the end of June, and I got the July 12th is my last day of being able to take the owls. I got 5 books I want to try and finish. It might be kind of difficult. I'm not quite sure. I might have to swap some out. I'll explain that when we go over to the shelf. But anyway, so those 5 books are already kind of set in stone, and then the second half of the month is going to be kind of like whatever else I want to read, so let's just get started. Alright, so let's start with the 5 books I have left for the Owls Readathon, and for Muggle Studies, I need to finish The Hittites, their contemporaries, and their contemporaries in Asia Minor by D.J. McQueen. I've been trying to read a lot more on the Hittites. I don't know, been really slow about it. But I've already started this one, and I got about 100 pages left, so hopefully that won't take too much longer. Okay, for Transfiguration, I need to read Heir of Sea and Fire by Patricia McKillop. This is the second book in the Riddle Master trilogy. I really enjoyed the first one, so definitely excited to read the second one. And just look at this artwork, just tremendous. And there's also this guy on the back. Pretty cool. Alright, for Divination, I need to read the second book in the Chronicles of the Black Company, which is Shadows Linger, because it has a prophecy in it. And I enjoy the Black Company a lot. I know some people can't get into it, but I really enjoyed the first one, so I'm hoping the series continues to pick up from where the first one left off. I also need to read for Defense Against the Dark Arts, the second book in the General and Bastard sequence, and that's going to be Red Seas Under Red Skies by Scott Lynch. I really enjoyed The Lies of Locke Lamora. It's one of my favorite fantasy books of the year so far, so definitely picked out, I don't know if I probably end up listening to this one in audiobook format, but I really enjoyed the first one, and I'm pretty sure the second one's going to be awesome as well. And for Charms, we have The Crimson Campaign by Brian McClellan. This is the second book in the Powder Mage trilogy. I've read the first book in both trilogies. Don't ask me why I read the second trilogy, first title first. I have no idea. But I really enjoyed the whole Powder Mage universe in Flintlock Fantasy, so I picked this one up. This one I might have to swap if I start running out of time, just because this is a pretty big book, and the challenge is to read a fantasy book, so I might have to switch this one out for a shorter one, just to fit in a fantasy book if I start running out of time. But I'm definitely going to enjoy it, I can already tell. I didn't like the first book as much as I liked the first book in the second trilogy, but it was still a really good read, so once I get started with this one, I know this will be one I can't stop reading. Alright, so those are the 5 books for the Owls Readathon. Now the rest are just going to be kind of books I just feel like reading. For our World War I book, I have a couple of these Osprey Publishing books. This one is German Stormtrooper, 1914 to 1918, and it's the Warrior series, and it's number 12. This one is by Ian Drury, and illustrated by Gary Embleton. And like I said before, and I'll probably say every time I have one of these, the illustrations in these books are tremendous. They're accurate and just highly detailed with arms and equipment. And they do all kinds of time periods throughout history, literally from pretty much beginning of civilization to modern times. For a life science book, I put this on my TBR I think a long time ago, I believe. Maybe I didn't. But it's Animal Madness, How Anxious Dogs, Compulsive Parrots, and Elephants in Recovery Help Us Understand Ourselves by Laurel Braitman. And I'm turning into a sap for some of these life science books, but I really enjoy them, and I just picked one off my shelf, and this one was the one I grabbed, so I'm going to try and read Animal Madness. Also, for some reason, I haven't been reading I've only read 2 philosophy books this whole year, and I used to read a lot more on philosophy, so I decided maybe this month, and after the newts are done, I'll start reading some more philosophy books. So I try to read a very short introduction book every month. Last month I didn't, though, so this one I'm going to try and read Philosophy, A Very Short Introduction by Edward Craig. And these can be hit or miss sometimes, so hopefully that one is a good one. And for a companion book that I'll read right after that, I picked up some time ago Breakfast with Socrates by Robert Smith. And there's also a second book, like Driving with Plato. And the subtitle is An Extraordinary Philosophical Journey Through Your Ordinary Day. I have absolutely no idea what this is going to be like, but I'm hoping it's just sort of some sort of, I don't know, light philosophical stuff that I think might help me get restarted back into reading about philosophy. So that's what I'm going to try and read after I read the very short introduction on philosophy. And lastly, if I have time in the month, I'll try and read one more fantasy book. I really need to read some of the more, I don't know, classics or sort of milestones of like the fantasy genre. So I'm gonna try and start the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan. I know it's people are very like torn about it, so I just want to see what it's all about. If I don't really enjoy this one after the first book, this might be one I might drop. But this is like pretty much a classic. I think there's 14 books in the series, but I'll start with this one, which is The Eye of the World, and we'll just go from there and see what it's all about. So there is my TBR for the month of July. The first 5 books are going to be the most important. I'll have to try and get those done literally within 2 weeks. And then the rest of the month, I'm just going to try and, like I said, I'm picking up some more lighter stuff just for fun to cool down before the newts start in August. But if you guys have read any of them, leave some comments down below. I'd be glad to talk to you about them. If you liked them or didn't like them, or if you have any other comments, just leave those down below as well. And always remember, whatever you're reading this month, read victoriously.